Ben, let's start with you then. I mean, in all of this, a crime is a crime, right? Of course, a crime has got to be tried in court.
Well, look, the problem is there's not a crime that's committed here, and it's going to end up being thrown out. This is the dumbest case I've ever seen brought, especially against a former president. There's a reason why federal prosecutors did not prosecute this same crime when it was before them. The former district attorney in New York also, in an interview this morning, said he did not bring this crime against Donald Trump when he had 4 years to do it because he said he believed it was a ridiculous charge. And that was a liberal Democrat who said that as well. This activist DA, Alvin Bragg, has overstepped here. Democrats were begging him in the final hours to not do this. Some of the biggest allies of Barack Obama were saying publicly on TV, he's overstepping. He needs to walk back from the brink. So you just gave the biggest in-kind donation, I think, in political history with this indictment to Donald Trump. You're rallying troops behind him. A lot of people that didn't like Donald Trump, by the way, are giving him money, which you just mentioned, in historic numbers. So I think this might be the biggest backfire in political history as well.
Well, let's see if we can tip out the scales then with Bonnie here in the studio. Bonnie, let's talk about some of what Ben mentioned then. By just discussing this, by just talking about the figures from the weekend, are we emboldening Trump's campaign?
Well, you can't embolden Donald Trump any more than he's born to be. This is how this guy rolls. And I'm saying, as a former New Yorker, I mean, Donald Trump's been in the fire for, 30, 40, 50 years. They've even got a headline on the New York Times that was in the 70s about the trouble he was in. So Donald has kind of been in this water for a long time. And Ben is right. Of course, this is going to galvanize his followers. Anything would galvanize his followers. So, if he ate a ham sandwich in front of, whatever, that would galvanize them. So that's not the issue. It's also, if the Republican Party is crazy enough to actually run him, which would be superb, he's going to get beaten again. See, the thing is this, and I think that what's overlooked, the United States is a country of laws, not men. I don't know who said that, but that is a quote. The district attorney is an elected official, and the district attorney determines within his or her district what the law is. The feds don't get involved, and people from the outside don't get involved. Now, this case will fall or rise tomorrow in the court when the judge decides whether it's worth it. And the other thing we need to remember is this indictment was brought by ordinary Americans, not by the district attorney. It's brought by the grand jury. So he brings the case, they decide, and then the judge says, okay, I like it or I don't. That's it.
That was a point I wanted to bring up with Ben, so thanks for explaining that, especially to our British viewers and our other international viewers, how the US justice system works. Because as Bonnie brightly pointed out, it's a grand jury. It's a peer of normal people in this court, Ben. The district attorney, democratically nominated, yes. But if you are saying, as many sort of Trump supporters or GOP supporters are, that it's a politically motivated witch hunt and it's a sham trial, and not my words, but the words of plenty of supporters out there, is that not saying there's something wrong with the US justice system?
No, because look, grand juries are very much not connected to the backstory on these types of indictments. I'll give you a great example. The grand jury doesn't know that the federal government refused to prosecute and said there was no crime here. The grand jury also doesn't know that they are turning a misdemeanor into a felony. That's the problem with this case. You can get indictments, and there are countless hundreds and hundreds of thousands of indictments that have been thrown out immediately and or on appeal. You are in a very limited box when you're on a grand jury, and your job is to look at what they put in front of you. You have an activist DA that's selectively giving you information. You don't understand the backstory here. You don't understand the Fed said there's no crime here. You don't know that the former DA said there's no crime here. And you don't know all of these things. So when he comes in and he says to you, here is my case, they may not even realize that he has created out of thin air a felony that doesn't exist. This will be thrown out. Mark my word, it will be thrown out.
Look,
And
Ben-
that's where this DA is going to have egg on his face.
Ben, we don't know the details of the exact charges yet. Of course, we'll have to wait for that to be until tomorrow.
There's
Ben's
been plenty of
also
leaks.
Ben's also given the beauty of the grand jury system. They aren't a bunch of lawyers. They aren't people who went to Harvard Law, Yale Law. They aren't politicians. They aren't political commentators. They're Joe Blow and his wife from the street. And they decided that this needed to go to a judge. The judge
it
then
will be thrown out.
decides, no, this isn't, he might throw it out tomorrow. That's his job.
I
The
don't think
job
this
of the
judge will throw it
people,
out
Ben,
tomorrow,
let
to
me
be clear.
finish. The job of the people is determine what it looks like to them. Now, again, it could be thrown out. Trump is innocent until proven guilty. And that's the end of this story until the judge rules, if he rules tomorrow.
Ben,
It's not the end of the story because this political harassment has been going on since 2016. And by the way, Hillary Clinton, if you're going to claim that Donald Trump has committed this crime of
I didn't claim anything,
misappropriating
Ben.
funds, well, hold on.
No.
I'm saying the prosecutor. All right, let me be clear. Alvin Bragg is saying that Donald Trump took money and he said it was legal fees when it actually wasn't, and it was a hush payment. If that is true, then you would have to go back and charge Hillary Clinton for the exact same crime in the exact same year in the exact same place, New York City. She had the Steele dossier. Well, there's no shaking the head here. This is a fact.
No, I am
The
shaking
Steele
my head, Ben,
Hold on,
because-
let me finish. Hold on, let me just finish because people need to understand this around the world. Hillary Clinton paid for the Steele dossier. They labeled that in her campaign finance report as legal fees. She was found guilty of doing that wrong, and the FCC forced her and the Democratic National Committee to pay a fine. And even then, a DA did not say that she should be charged criminally. That is exactly the same
Ben,
law that's being used against Donald
if
Trump
you're gonna,
right now.
if you're going to dust that down, if you're going to bring that from the archive, let's just really
It's not
deal with.
archived.
Let's just
Same
really
year,
deal with what it is.
same time,
Let's deal with what it
same
is,
person
Ben.
in the same
Let's
position
deal
of
with
power.
what it is. The DA,
It's the same
the
thing.
DA of the day. This is not some kind of thing in the back in the day. Of the
It's
day
2000
decides
both of these
what
are
the
crimes they're
charge
claiming
is.
were in
This isn't
2016.
ancient history, mate. This is today. Now, if somebody
It's
wants to come up and,
again,
if
for
somebody
people
wants
so
to
they
come up and
understand.
charge Hillary Clinton, well, fine. Nobody's done
And
it.
again,
Let's bring it
they're
back.
not doing it because
Ben.
this is political and they're going after Donald Trump because they hate him. Hillary Clinton, 2016, the same year they're saying this payment.
Man, you're talking about something 6 years ago. Too late,
2016.
out of order, too late.
It's not- no,
I'm
again,
going to bring it
this
to
is
the present
problem
day.
with
Too
people on the
late.
left.
6 years ago, too late.